Hi, welcome to How to Use a Measurement to Test a Scientific Hypothesis, Part 1. Last time we looked at a hypothetical scenario. A new particle was discovered and physicists measured its lifetime. Its lifetime was reported to be 1.37 plus or minus 0.32 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. And that error bar was taken to be a Gaussian error bar. Meanwhile, let's say someone has made a new speculative model of particle interactions. This model might have been formulated to address some unanswered question in particle physics. We have no idea if this speculative model is a good description of nature. But let's say that this model makes a prediction for the lifetime of this newly discovered particle. So, question: what does this measurement of the particle lifetime tell us about the veracity of this speculative physics model? Well, first, here's a short answer. We can't say with absolute certainty that the model is true or false. But we can say how compatible or incompatible the measurement is with the prediction of the model. Okay, let's give a longer answer. Okay, again we have the reported measurement of the particle lifetime with its Gaussian error bar. If the errors are Gaussian distributed, the values of tau measured, obtained over many experimental trials, would be distributed around the true value of the lifetime tau true. The measurement had a reported uncertainty of 0.32 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, so in this plot, sigma equals 0.32 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. The measured value would be expected to fall within 1 sigma of the true value about 68% of the time, within 2 sigma about 95% of the time, and within 3 sigma about 99.7% of the time. Okay, let's get back to that speculative model. Let's say the prediction for the lifetime in that model, which we'll call tau predicted, was 1.75 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. We can ask the following. Under the hypothesis that the lifetime equals tau predicted, so equals 1.75 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, how strange is our measured result? I'll make an important but quick note here. For simplicity, here we're neglecting the uncertainty on the predicted value tau predicted. In practice, the predicted value will also have an error bar. To keep things simple here, we're going to assume that the error bar on the prediction is much smaller than the error bar on the measurement, and that we can neglect it. Okay, so assuming Gaussian errors, the measured values of the lifetime should be Gaussian distributed around the true value. But we want to ask how strange the observed measurement is if the prediction from the speculative model is correct. So, under the hypothesis that the lifetime is equal to the predicted value, 1.75 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, we recenter the curve at that predicted value. So now the curve is centered at 1.75 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, and sigma is equal to 0.32 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, which we get from the error bar on the measurement. Okay, so given that, how weird is the measured result 1.37 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds? To quantify that, let's look at the difference between the measured and predicted values. Tau measured minus tau predicted is 1.37 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds minus 1.75 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, which equals minus 0.38 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. Let's divide that by sigma, which was 0.32 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. And thus we get that tau measured was about 1.2 sigma below tau predicted. Okay, so under the hypothesis that the prediction of the model is correct, how weird was the measured result? Well, under the hypothesis, about 68% of measurements will fall within 1 sigma of the central value, which means about 32% will fall outside that range. This measurement fell just outside the 1 sigma band. So this value is not strange at all. Now, this measurement doesn't confirm the speculative model. Other models could also agree with this measurement, so we can't say that this one is correct. But this measurement is in good agreement with the prediction of the speculative model. So there is no reason, based on this measurement at least, to reject the speculative model. But now, what if the speculative model had predicted a very different value? What if tau predicted had been 2.65 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds? Under the hypothesis that the lifetime equals 2.65 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds, how strange is the measured result? And again, we're assuming the uncertainty on the prediction is small enough that we can neglect it. Under this new hypothesis, the curve is centered at 2.65 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. But sigma, which was given by the error bar on the measurement, is unchanged at 0.32 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. So how weird is the measured result of 1.37 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds this time? Again, let's take the difference between the measured value and the prediction. This time we get minus 1.28 times 10 to the minus 11 seconds. If we divide that by sigma, we get minus 4. So the measured value was 4 sigma below tau predicted. So how weird was the measured result under this hypothesis? It came out 4 sigma under the predicted value. If the prediction is true, the measured result would fall more than 4 sigma away from the prediction in about 1 out of 16,000 measurements. So if the hypothesis is true, then this is a very strange result. This time, if the prediction of the speculative model is correct, the measured result is very weird. This result would typically be considered reason to reject the speculative model. Okay, let's recap what we've seen here. We've seen 2 cases of comparing a measurement with the prediction of a speculative model. In one case, the measurement and prediction agreed well. In the other case, they didn't. To decide whether or not to rule out a hypothesis, we look at how compatible our measurement is with that hypothesis. Basically, we ask, if the hypothesis is true, how weird is this measured result? And the compatibility between the measurement and the prediction is determined by how much the measurement and prediction differ in comparison with the uncertainty. Let's remember, we don't confirm hypotheses, we only rule them out. Quantifying how weird a measured result is compared to a prediction is how we decide what hypotheses to rule out and is therefore central to how science functions. Okay, next time we'll discuss a bit more about how to quantify the agreement or disagreement between a measurement and a prediction, and we'll talk about how we decide to reject or keep a hypothesis.